My sister sent 104 wedding invites, even to the neighbor's dog but not me, so I froze the $13,500 I had saved for her and made sure their big day ended in the worst way possible. I wasn't invited to my own sister's wedding. You to the wedding? Don't be ridiculous, Mom said, not even looking up from the pot she was stirring. They probably assumed you wouldn't come anyway. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. I brought her coffee like I had every Friday for the past 5 years. I didn't ask. I just showed up, helped quietly, always. Didn't you once say weddings are just overpriced parties? She added with a faint, disapproving smile. No, I didn't say that. I paid for it. $13,500. That's what I wired Alina over 4 months to help out for the venue, the flowers, the down payment on her dress. But somehow, the neighbor's dog got an invitation, and I didn't. It must have been a mix-up, Mom said, quieter now. I didn't respond. I just walked out of the kitchen. I was already building a plan in my head. An hour later, I was in my car when the family group chat buzzed. I opened it. Lena, TBH, the dog's a better guess than him. There it was. I typed, nice, and hit send. Then I opened my bank app, wedding fund frozen, caterer payment canceled, florist deposit flagged for review, venue coordinator notified of a potential fraud alert. Every vendor was under my name. Then I packed a folder, printed proof of every transfer, every signed agreement, every screenshot. I walked into City Hall, stood in line, waited my turn. I wasn't on the guest list. Fine. Now I wouldn't be in the ceremony at all. Let them try to celebrate without me. They didn't see me as a person. I was a system, like Wi-Fi or plumbing, something you don't thank, just expect to work. It had been this way for years. I was the one who made it out, got a stable job, never moved back in after college, kept my head down and paid my bills. But somewhere along the way, responsible became available, and available became obligated. Lena knew that better than anyone. It started with small things. She forgot to cancel her gym membership for 6 months, the one I was covering. Then she lost her apartment lease and just needed help for a month. That turned into 7. Then came the car loan. Then her half of Mom's dental work. Each time she'd say, I swear I'll pay you back when I can. But I never expected the money back. They never even pretended. Dad made jokes about it. Guess we raised one investor, huh? He'd say, slapping me on the back like it was some big compliment. Mom said things like, you're such a blessing to this family. You always come through. It sounded sweet until you realized it was always followed by a request. And Lena, she was the queen of guilt. Her favorite move, the long, shaky voice memo. Hey, I hate to even ask, but I don't know who else to go to. I've been so stressed lately. I have 27 of those saved. I counted. But the wedding, that's when it broke. Because this time, it wasn't just about money. It was about humiliation. After I froze the budget, I waited. I thought maybe someone would reach out, try to explain. Instead, I got a Facebook notification. My mother had posted a photo. Lena in her wedding dress, holding champagne. The caption, so proud of our girl. She's doing it all on her own. #independent, #family first. I choked on my coffee. Doing it on her own? With whose money? Then came the worst part. A video in the family group chat, Lena twirling in her dress, bridesmaids laughing. Then a text below it from her, can't wait for the big day. Shame some people would rather stay bitter than be invited. Followed by, anyway, it's going to be magical. Thanks to everyone who believed in me. The same people I paid for, florist, photographer, even the cake lady, who called me 2 weeks prior because the card on file declined. I replied with a simple, you're welcome. No one responded. That night, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. Can we talk? It was Josh. He came over, looking like he hadn't slept in days. He sat down, hands folded, stared at the floor. She told me the money came from a family friend, he said. I thought your parents helped her. I stayed silent. Then the vendors started calling, he continued. They said the payments bounced. They said your name was on the contracts. I showed him the proof, bank statements, PDF invoices, screenshots. He leaned back, stunned. She lied to me, he whispered. Then, without me asking, he pulled out his phone and showed me a group chat bride squad. There it was. Lena, I swear, if my brother shows up, I'll get security. He's extremely toxic. He thinks because he sent money, he gets to be part of things. Pathetic. Another bridesmaid, he's not even invited. OMG, savage, LOL. Another, I bet he still sends a gift though. Josh looked at me. I didn't know about any of this. I believed him. He was too stunned not to be telling the truth. He stood to leave, then paused. "You don't deserve this," he said. "They treat you like a villain in a story you paid for." I watched him walk out the door, and I realized they never thought I'd fight back. They thought I'd watch the wedding from my phone like some sad spectator, smile, clap from a distance, maybe send a toaster. They didn't know I had a folder. They didn't know I was done. The air inside the barn was warm, uncomfortably warm. Fairy lights glowed from every beam, and mason jars full of eucalyptus branches gave the illusion of charm. It was the kind of wedding Lena always fantasized about, rustic, soft, curated for the gram. Too bad it wasn't paid for by her. The rehearsal dinner was in full swing when I walked in. I wasn't on the guest list, but I didn't need to be. I had receipts, literal ones. I stood at the entrance for a full minute before anyone noticed. People were clinking glasses. A girl in a beige satin dress was sobbing because someone had stepped on the hem. A cousin was arguing about shrimp allergies. The DJ was testing a playlist. It looked perfect from the outside, like any other expensive lie. Then Lena turned her head. Her smile cracked, just a fraction. Then she stood, napkin still in her lap. "What are you doing here?" she said through her teeth, walking toward me. "I brought a gift," I said, tapping the flash drive in my coat pocket. Her face drained of color. "No, don't. You're not doing this here." "You didn't want me at your wedding," I said, "but you had no problem spending my money on it." I walked past her to the AV table. The guy running the slides gave me a look. "I'm the brother," I said, pulling out my flash drive, "and this is my turn." The lights dimmed, the music cut. A few drunk guests booed playfully, thinking it was part of the show. Then the first slide lit up the projector screen in glowing white. Letters over a black background. This wedding was built on lies. Silence. Some laughed, then stopped, because slide 2 hit harder. Screenshots of my bank transfers, Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, credit card bills. Each item labeled, deposit for dress, $1,800, DJ advance, $900, venue booking, $4,200, and on. Then a final tally, bolded, $13,498. In the corner, my name, everywhere. Whispers started. You could feel it, the shift in temperature. Slide 3, group chat messages, the bride squad. "Lena, he thinks he gets a seat at the table because he threw some money at it. News flash, I didn't invite a debit card. Bridesmaid number 1, OMG, you're savage. Bridesmaid number 2, I can't believe you're really not inviting him. Lena, not even my dog wanted him there." Then came the audio. Her voice from a message she left me 3 weeks ago. "Seriously, you're saving this wedding. You're the best. Don't tell anyone I said that, though. Got to protect the brand." The room went still. You could hear the clink of a spoon dropping into a wine glass across the room. My father stood. His tone was thunder. "Turn that off." I turned, calm. "Why? You don't like the sound of your investment report?" He took a step toward me. "You think this is funny?" "I think it's fair," I said. "You stole my seat. Now I'm stealing the show." Slide 4, my mother's voice. I'd recorded the call the night she tried to explain why I hadn't been invited. "It's not about you. Lena just didn't want you in the photos." And frankly, I agree. The silence cracked, and Denise covered her mouth. Cousin Jake mumbled, "Jesus." I stepped forward. "For years," I said, "I paid quietly. No questions. Every dentist bill, every car repair, Lena's credit card debt, Mom's utilities, Dad's vacation shortfalls. I never said a word." Slide 5, photos of the receipts. Notes from Lena, "Thanks again. You're literally a hero. You're saving my life. RNFR. You're the only one I trust." I paused, looked around. "You didn't forget to invite me. You erased me, and you replaced me with a dog." A nervous chuckle came from somewhere in the back, then silence again. That's when Josh, the fiancé, finally stood up. He looked destroyed. "You said he didn't want to come," he said to Lena. "You said he threatened you." She opened her mouth, closed it, said nothing. He looked at me. "She told me you weren't even involved." I nodded toward the screen. "She also told her bridesmaids I was pathetic, that I'd send a gift anyway. Want to see that part again?" He turned to her. "I don't even know who I'm marrying." Then he pulled the ring from his finger, held it up, and placed it on. The center of their table, right on top of the printed seating chart. "I'm out." Gasps, screams. Someone dropped a wine glass. The whole barn buzzed with static energy, like lightning looking for a target. Mom stood now. She tried to grab his arm. "Josh, don't do this. It's just a fight." "No," he said. "It's a fraud." He walked out. Half the bridal party followed. The DJ unplugged the laptop. The screen went dark. Dad was still standing, shaking. "You're not family," he hissed. You're a virus. I looked at him, smiled, a small brutal smile. No, I said, I'm the antivirus. Then I walked out, not rushed, deliberate, calm. The way someone walks out of a burning building holding the match. Behind me, I could hear chairs scraping, arguments, someone sobbing, a bridesmaid screaming about ruining the aesthetic. But I didn't turn back. They didn't invite me. But now they'd never forget me. I walked out of that barn like I'd stepped out of a burning building when I let myself. No one followed me. There were no shouts, no cries, no last-minute apologies. Just the faint echo of someone knocking over a chair and Lena sobbing in the background, like her reality had cracked. Good. I didn't drive home. I drove forward. The next morning, I woke up at 7:13 in the morning. No alarm, no anxiety. I made coffee in my quiet apartment, sat at the window, and waited for the storm. It didn't take long. By 8:42 in the morning, my phone lit up. 24 missed calls, 6 from Mom, 4 from Dad, the rest from Lena. The first voicemail was from Mom. She was crying. Not the kind of cry that comes from heartbreak, but the kind that comes from losing control. Why would you do this to us? This was your sister's one big day, right? The day I paid for. Next voicemail, Dad. His voice didn't tremble, it roared. You've made your point. You happy now? You ruined everything. That one made me laugh because nothing was ruined. I just hit pause on a lie they'd been building for years. Lena didn't leave voicemails, just texted. You're a monster. You made me look crazy. Do you even care how this makes you look? Oh, I cared. That's why I wasn't done yet. That afternoon, I opened the folder. The one I'd been curating since the year Lena first asked. Me to co-sign a loan for emergency vet bills, and then use the money to fly to Vegas. Inside, screenshots of every money transfer, messages where she lied, voicemails. My mother's text begging for just a little help for Lena's mental health. Bank statements with my name on every major wedding vendor. Even an old email from my dad telling me, don't be such a girl about money, just help your sister. It's what sons do. So I turned it all into a PDF, titled The Price of Family. Then I posted it. No dramatic captions, no hashtags, just a quiet, cold upload. To Facebook, visible to friends, friends of friends and family, all of them. Then I logged off. But the internet doesn't sleep. By the next day, the post had over 18,000 views, 300 comments, DMs from people I hadn't heard from in years. A classmate messaged me. Your story broke something in me. Thank you for saying it out loud. A cousin I hadn't seen since high school wrote, they did the same thing to me. I just never had the receipts. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. That night, I got a message from a wedding vendor, the DJ. He'd seen the post. He refunded me without even being asked. Said he didn't want to be part of whatever that was. Then the photographer messaged. Said she was considering backing out of her contract. With Lena entirely, said the energy around the wedding had turned toxic. One by one, vendors started ghosting her. Even the cake company pulled out. And I didn't have to do a thing. 3 days later, I got a knock at my door. I didn't answer. It was my father. I watched him through the peephole. He stood there for 5 full minutes, not knocking, just waiting. Then he left a letter. It wasn't an apology, it was a deal. You had your moment. Now let's make this go away. You've made your point. Let's move on. You can come to the rescheduled wedding. I stood there, staring at the paper. He really thought this was about a seat at the table, that if I got my moment, I'd come crawling back, that a little silence and some time would put the mask back on. No, I didn't want a seat. I burned the whole table. That same night, I uploaded a second post, this one with videos, clips from old family dinners where I was mocked, a birthday, where Lena got a cake and I got a lecture, a voice recording from a car ride where Dad told me, no one needs a martyr. If you're in, help. If not, please step aside. Then I closed the video with this. This isn't about a wedding. It's about a life, a pattern, a family that only shows up when your wallet opens. You don't owe loyalty to people who demand your silence in return. And if they call that betrayal, let them. By morning, the post had exploded. 2 podcasts invited me to speak. A subreddit turned it into a thread with 3,000 comments. People were tagging wedding vendors, therapists, financial coaches. The story wasn't just mine anymore. It was theirs too. That's when Lena went nuclear. She posted a 7-minute story on Instagram, sobbing, full face, no filter. She called me manipulative, said I was weaponizing trauma, that I was punishing a woman for not inviting her brother to a wedding. At the end, she said, he's not the victim. He's just bitter. He always wanted to be the favorite. This is jealousy, nothing more. But people weren't buying it. Someone commented, "You're crying in a $1,200 dress he paid for. Maybe sit this one out." Another wrote, "Girl, he literally has receipts. You have emojis." And that was the end of her sympathy tour. Last I checked, she locked her account. Mom texted again that night. "I don't know what you think this will accomplish. Families fight, but we forgive. That's what matters." "No," I wanted to reply. "What matters is truth and consequences." But I didn't reply at all because I was already working on something else. It's been 6 weeks. 6 weeks since I walked out of that fairy-lit barn. 6 weeks since I burned a decade's worth of guilt, obligation, and forced silence to the ground. And guess what? Nothing bad happened. The earth didn't crack open. I didn't implode. No one came to drag me back into the role I'd been forced to play. Instead, something incredible happened. Peace. No more voicemails. No more money drains disguised as just this once. No more group chats where I'm only useful if I'm paying, just silence. And I have never felt so whole. I moved quietly to a new city, a smaller place, but it's mine. No forwarding address. No welcome mat. Just a doorbell with a tiny sticker next to it that says, "Not available for emotional labor." And I meant it. The business I'd been planning in secret for over a year, I launched it. Not for them, for me. A digital consultancy, clean, precise, and profitable. I work alone. I choose my clients, and I no longer fund anyone's delusions but my own. A week after launch, I wrote a public post, not as revenge, but as reclamation. I used to think loyalty meant silence. But now I know loyalty without respect is servitude. I'm done serving. It went viral again. Even a few small business blogs picked it up. One headlined it, "The Wedding That Exposed a Family and Built a Brand." Poetic. As for Lena, she tried to spin it. Of course she did. She posted cryptic stories about losing people when you grow and outgrowing toxicity, but no one was buying it. Her followers dropped. Her podcast, still at 43 listeners, now had comments turned off. And Josh? He sent me a message 2 weeks after everything collapsed. Just 3 words, "You saved me." I never answered. He didn't need a response. Some truths land better in silence. Then came the message from my aunt, the only one who ever half defended me during holidays. "I just want you to know some of us saw it. We just didn't know what to do. Too little. Way too late." I didn't reply, but I screenshotted it and filed it away under a folder titled, "Recognition is not equal to re-entry." That's my policy now because they'll try. Oh, they always do. They test the door, a tag on an old photo, a like on a business post, a weak comment, "So proud of you." Like nothing happened, like the knife never turned. But I've changed the locks, digitally, emotionally, permanently. The number they all had? Gone. I didn't just block them, I erased the line completely. No access. And in its place, a new phone, a new number, one contact saved, me. One afternoon, I walked past a print shop and paused. On impulse, I went in, asked them to print a sign, black background, white serif, gloss finish. I mounted it outside my small new office door the next day. It reads, "Funded by the Forgotten." A little private joke, a little public burn. Because yes, they forgot me. But I remembered everything, and I built something out of it. Out of the voicemails, the erasures, the gaslighting, the word family guilt trap. I turned it into clarity, into purpose, into the one thing they could never take from me again, autonomy. This time, I didn't ask for forgiveness. I didn't ask for closure. I became it. So, if you're reading this and you're where I was, carrying everyone else's weight and still being called selfish, I'll leave you with this. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Some people only love you when you're useful. Burn the bridge and then build a new one for yourself with stronger steel. I wasn't invited, but now I own the venue.